I want to talk a little bit with you about emotional intelligence. It's a set of skills that I think can make a tremendously positive difference for all of us. I'm really excited about it, and particularly for leaders. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, story starts in 1980. So there was this research psychologist at the University of Texas Galveston Medical School. And he's new on faculty, and he's walking around, and he's noticing that all of these faculty members are really smart, as you would expect at a medical school. But what he also noticed was that only some of them were really successful. And many of the others, even though they had very, very high IQs, were just pretty so-so, pretty adequate. So it dawned on him in a flash of insight that it takes more than IQ to be successful, but he didn't know what the difference was. So he then went on this question: what are the other skills that people need in order to be successful? Took him on a 17-year research project in which he identified 16 skills that differentiate those folks who are really smart and really successful. You're really top performers. Be they leaders or physicians or other sort of attorneys, other sorts of professionals. Differentiates those high performers from those who are merely having an adequate career. And some of these skills are like assertiveness, which is the skill of being able to present our ideas, present what it is that we want in ways that other people don't get threatened by, but can hear and feel safe with. Empathy, which is an ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and take a look at how the world looks from their perspective. And you can see how important that might be to a leader. If I want to influence you, then I need to know what's important to you, what matters to you, and so that I can link what I want you to be doing, if I'm your leader, with something that matters to you, so that you're really engaged in the process. Another one is stress tolerance and impulse control. Basically, it means how much stress can we put up with without doing something foolish, without saying something that we might come later to regret. And another skill that's very important is emotional self-awareness. How tuned in are we to our own emotions? And the importance there is, and the reason they call all of these emotional intelligence, is that they're all related to emotions, and emotions drive behavior. So if I'm angry, I'm much more likely to behave in one way, and if I'm feeling kind of proud, I'm going to be more likely to behave in some other way. So emotions encourage different behaviors, and if I don't know what I'm feeling, I might not know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what I'm doing might not be what I want it to do. IQ is important to get in the door. It still matters to be smart. But we're kind of stuck with what we're born with in terms of IQ. The good news about emotional intelligence is that these skills are learnable. These 16 skills are things that we can all develop, and approximately 100% of us have developmental opportunities in emotional intelligence. It's an ongoing, lifelong learning process. Since Baron's research was completed, that's the psychologist from Texas, since his research was completed in 1997, there have literally been hundreds of studies that demonstrate that this stuff really makes a difference in performance, what leaders can accomplish. And as you think about some of the skills that I talked about, you can see how they might have an impact on how a leader conducts him or herself. Think about some of the difficult discussions that you might need to have if you're a leader, and all of you folks are leaders. So think about some discussion that you've had to have, or maybe looming in your future, that you're kind of dreading. And if you can maintain your emotional cool, that's going to help you get through it. If you can trust that you're going to keep your cool and say things in a useful but humane way, you're much more likely to actually have the conversation instead of keeping, putting, I'll get to that tomorrow. The other thing that we find as we work with folks and help them build their emotional intelligence skills is that as they work to develop them, they discover ways that they have been getting in their own way. All of us have a set of beliefs that we carry with us that help guide us in our lives. And we learn these when we were growing up or in our first job or when we were working in some other organization. We learn these beliefs and we learn how to adapt successfully in that setting. And so if you do something that works, that's successful, what do? Well, you keep doing it. And if you keep doing it long enough, it becomes a habit. And if you practice a habit long enough, it becomes an assumption. Now, the difference between habits and assumptions is that assumptions are out of our awareness. We forget why we're doing it anymore. We just do it. And assumptions can be really useful because we don't have to keep figuring things out. But they're also dangerous because when we've forgotten why we're doing something and we keep doing it and conditions around us change so that it's no longer all that useful, those assumptions then can lead us to have blocks to our next level of growth and development. And it turns out that as people begin to work on developing their EQ skills, they are able to come to identify some of these blocks that have been getting in their way and that once removed can lead to a whole new level of performance and achievement.